Alice Bell here, back with another Timeless Tarot read. If it seems like this is for you, then it's for you. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Let's just get right into this. So the top line is the as above line, the bottom line is so below. So this is kind of what's going on subconsciously, and this is what we can expect to see as the external result. So I'm really excited about this because I feel like this is a reading for someone who is kind of starting something new and is also a really hard worker. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to feel like the things that they have actually been working on are starting to manifest and that this work is being appreciated? So internally here, this is you, the Fool. I love the Fool card. This is the zero, the Wu Chi, the starting point. Anything is possible. They're holding in their left hand this beautiful white rose really delicately. This is keeping your innocence, keeping that childlike wonder wherever you're going. They've also got their spirit guide with them, so they don't have to worry about falling off the cliff or anything like that because they are divinely protected. That's kind of what it's, you can you can interpret the Fool in a lot of different ways, but in this particular case, what it's saying to me is that, yeah, there might be some treacherous things going on, not going on, but like you might have a fear rather. This cliff is indicative of an internal fear of some stuff going on, but the message is that Spirit has got your back here. They are going to alert you no matter where you are looking, no matter what's going on. Your spirit guides are going to get your attention, and part of why is because you've kept your childlike wonder. There's almost a there's this message that, like, because you have kept this innocence about you, or what some people might even consider a naivete about whatever situation, this has actually been to your strength. And for some reason, the rose is connected to the dog in this instance. It's almost like they're saying, actually, Spirit's kind of giving me the indication that this is almost like a whistle. It's like a dog whistle for this dog. It's what calls them back to you. And actually my computer just restarted itself, so that feels like a good sign. All right, so because you're starting out on this new thing and you know that you have the safety and protection of your guides because of this beautiful childlike innocence and wonder, which is really going to get you far, you've put yourself, this is the Hanged Man, you've put yourself in a new situation, a new place to get enlightenment. Is kind of a cool card. I think in the lore of the traditional tarot, the Hanged Man is supposed to be Odin. I don't remember the exact lore at the moment, but the implication there is that this is a king of some sort, or this is someone who is on the spiritual path. This is someone who may have actually even been, you might have been in a pretty good situation where you were, but you want more for yourself. You knew that you wanted to start this journey, so you're starting something new, and you're somewhere that you've never been before. So it's kind of like there's that saying, if you want something you've never had, you have to try something you've never tried. And I definitely get the impression that there is literally a new situation. So we might be talking about like a new job. You might have moved. Right now, whenever you're watching this, it's valid. But right now, yeah, the world is kind of opening up again at the end of May, where it's like, yeah, we're all in a new situation than we've been in previously. So this is actually... What's funny about these two, what I like about these two cards together, the Fool and the Hanged Man, is that they both have a very playful energy about them, and kind of what makes, again, about this strength, about this like strength in the innocence of this rose, something like that. That's what's making you so it's almost like because you're thinking so out of the box and you're being so frivolous or foolish or what other people would think of as being ill-advised, no one's really bothering you because of it. They kind of either think that you're nuts or you're like, I don't really care anyway, I'm doing my own thing. So you're not paying attention to what other people are saying, and frankly, good for you. Because that will just weigh you down. So don't even worry about it. So in the past, it's interesting because this is just saying that it's in the past. You had to weigh out these two decisions, or you might still be weighing out these two decisions. options. It's kind of like, what was before, like you might have had an option to go back to the way things were, quote unquote, were, but you have decided to take, I'm actually getting that Robert Frost poem. What is it? I have decided to take the path least traveled by, and that has made all the difference, something like that. You know, like that poem, whose woods are these? That's what this, that's what internally, there might even be a decision-making process going on in your head right now where you're kind of like, well, where do I want to be? Ah, yeah, because there's these ships. It's like, which ship do I want to take? There is a ship that's here in the distance. It's a little bit farther away from me, but it's of higher reward. Or I could take this closer ship. I could go fast. But is this like exactly what I want? That kind of thing. So, but it's a calculated, it's smart. You're being smart about everything. And the reason I know that is because externally, what this is showing up as in the world as is a 9 of Pentacles. This, I love this card. Every time I get it, I think she's amazing. She's got this beautiful like falcon on her glove. She's in her own garden. She's very queenly, and she's eating, or she's next to grapevines here. And grapes are the food of the gods, right? Like, because they are both, it's water, it's like sweet water is kind of the gist of the grapes. And so what makes that really appealing, why that is considered to be this godly, it's kind of like saying like it's almost like saying this is like the 9 of, you know, like you've got your pentacles, but it's actually the 9 of grapes in this particular instance. This is kind of funny because you are valuing what other people might not. Again, there's this kind of aspect of other people might think you're kind of nuts, whatever you're doing, but you recognize that the more valuable thing is the thing which is going to give you sustenance and which will give your life flavor. And you've got a bunch of it, whatever it is. And you're kind of like this woman spirit's also saying to me, has arrived in a bountiful place before anyone else has. And because of that, she gets her pick of her pick of falcons, her pick of grapes, her pick of pentacles. She's believed in herself. She's, put herself in an uncomfortable situation because she knew she wanted a better vantage point. She trusted her guides. Even though she was a little bit afraid here of this cliff. And because of that, she's wound up someplace that is like new land for cultivating, something like that. Yeah. And it's interesting because I have no idea what this means in the traditional, I'm an intuitive reader. But on Spirit saying like on her head, she has a red hat, which sort of matches her falcons. So again, they're saying that this is very similar to this energy here where your spirit guide is attached to your whatever you're doing. So your spirit guide will mirror you. Your spirit guides are you. They are part of you. And it is kind of the there's a very similar like guardian, kind of a guardian energy about you. So you're very protected, very safe and guarded by your spirit guides or even by your ancestors, but more so I'm getting this, there might have even been a creation that you had in some other lifetime or something like that. And this creation is very protective of you in this. It might not be even relevant to your, like your human story, but, something kind of mystical like that, or like a fairy realm sort of thing. Like you might have fairy energy about you. And this is like a fairy creature who doesn't exist in this lifetime, but they are still attached to you as a guide in this instance. That's kind of cool. I love fairy stuff whenever that comes up. Okay, so look at this. This card is great. I truly, the 6 of Swords, it's basically talking about, this is kind of the divine masculine, divine feminine, and the sacred child. This is you as a whole, like you're a sacred trinity. You're picking up what remains of your swords and you're leaving a bad situation. Or frankly, it doesn't even feel like a bad situation. It just feels like you're leaving a situation. You're leaving what didn't serve you behind. And this is over all of this over an ocean. It's like an ocean of emotion. So you're taking all your thoughts and you're taking them for a trip over your emotions, if that makes any sense. So it's a little bit like, obviously in the, this is, again, slightly off from the original. Oh, you know what? That's a message too. Interesting. Because I feel like my interpretation tonight has been very unique, very much more oracle and very much more intuitive. Sometimes I'll actually, it feels more like just traditional tarot. But what they're also saying is that, like, this might be you taking your own self away from traditional values, like traditional things, traditional, what you thought was traditional in your life. At some point you realized, you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and realized, oh, there is no tradition. That was just the thing that I was used to. Like, nobody has the same type of lifestyle. None of that stuff really, none of that stuff really matters in the end if it doesn't make me happy. So you're taking yourself and all of your thoughts, and you're kind of like coasting them over your emotions. So you're like running them through, I'm getting the image right now of a filter. So all of your thoughts, which used to hurt you, kind of like hurtful things maybe you used to say to yourself, hurtful ways that you used to judge the world, that kind of thing. It feels like there's also an image of like washing cutlery under the sink, There's something about these swords getting washed. They're having a wash. And this is great for you, though, because this is showing up as very hardworking energy. This is the Eight of Pentacles, working really diligently. It's like this sort of princess energy here. This is someone who, yeah, you've gotten to this new land. You're there before anyone else has gotten there. And you're like, all right, let's get to work. I knew exactly what I came here for. I made the right decision. And in fact, oh, you know what this is too? This is you choosing the right boat and getting on the right boat. So sometimes this card, Six of Swords, can be like a real defeat, like you're leaving something that you didn't want to leave. But I feel like the reason that this, at least the Divine Feminine, is really shrouded and kind of has her shoulders up, it is, it's kind of like she's so ready to be done. Like, she's like, oh, let's just leave. Like, it's not that she's leaving and she's sad. She's just like, oh my God, get me out of here. And so she can't even, so you might have a slight adjustment period. And I think part of that also is because you understand how much work is ahead of you. And you also are eager to get to it because you are like this kind of, I think of her as a princess because I don't really think of the queen. She's queenly, but she's not, she's not the Queen of Pentacles. She's the Nine of Pentacles. So you're almost there. You're like of the royal court, right? Or you're up there. But you're working your way towards actually feeling like you are manifesting yourself a palace. You are really building brick and mortar, whatever it is that you are going towards. And the reason that this figure is huddled is really more of an anticipation, kind of almost an anxiety more than a sorrow or depression or anything like that. Although, of course, whenever you're transitioning, there can be, like, just kind of fluctuating emotions that might even be what this Two of Pentacles is talking about, is kind of like a back and forth sort of energy of like, am I ready for this? Am I not? But you absolutely are ready for this. All sides of you are on board with this too. That's what I like about this, is like, no matter where you're going, it's like, yeah, you've got your spirit guides and everything, but you've also got all of you. So like all aspects of you, it doesn't seem like you're really fighting yourself at this point, even if you're like, even if there still are aspects of yourself that you're working on. I mean, obviously, like, life is never really over, so we're always working on ourselves, right? We're always working on, so we're doing something. I mean, like, it would be no fun if there was no forward movement. But for what this main primary goal is, it seems like you have just support on all sides, internally, and it might even be a relief to yourself that this self-love is finally coming in and like showing results. Kind of like there's a lot of like shadow work, a lot of just, it takes forever, and it feels like all you do is cry all day long, and then you're like, did I really change anything with that, or did I just cry all day long? But it seems like you are actually you've integrated a bunch of stuff, so you're kind of cashing in for all of that work you did. Yeah, so I'd say that you probably either are in where you want to be now, but it's like a an introductory stage of it or something like that. Um, but yeah, I would imagine what's next is a resting period or something like that. But it seems like there's a, whenever there's a move, there's kind of a hustle to, this is kind of a card of unpacking, like packing, unpacking. Once you actually get there. And when you unpack, you wind up like getting rid of stuff. You wind up having to rearrange your furniture. It feels like a lot of work. It's not really unpacking. It's like taking on a whole bunch of stuff too. It's introducing your old things to your new life. So that's a little bit what's going on there as well. It's putting your own implementing your own work here. He's got his tools here, implementing your own work, your own self into this new situation, putting your mark on it, making it your own. And that it takes a certain amount of effort that you're putting into. But this seems like the thing that you've been wanting to do. I'm really happy for you about this. If you have, the only thing I can think of is that you might be worried that you're not that you're like, wait, why is this not big enough or something, or it might not be complete. But the response to that would be because you are putting your own mark on it. And if it came to you complete, if it came to you with $1 million, it wouldn't be yours, is the message. You have to claim it. You have to make it. You have to really put your own stamp on it, really put your flavor onto it. And in the long run, your soul, that's what your soul wants. It wants to have made that impact itself. So that is, you're not waiting for anything. You're working towards that. Yeah, this is a, yeah, this is the overall, I'd say like this is probably the overall energy of this whole reading. Gosh, I love the Fool for a new beginning, though. This energy, this innocence, this spirit guide, all of that, this will maintain you because you have a childlike wonder, and you can really do anything with the right enthusiasm, right? Like, when you start a project and you're like, I could freaking do this. I forgot to eat for, for like 10 hours. I've just been doing this thing. Like, everyone knows kind of what that feels like. Or maybe you don't, and this is the first time you felt it, but there is like a real frenetic energy of like, once, if I can just get there, or like now that I've gotten there, I titled my last video this, but it is a little bit of that still same, like, hit the ground running, just go, like, we're doing it, we're working. So good for you, though. Yeah, because you made it through this Hanged Man, it looks like, was pretty uncomfortable. You might have uncovered some truths. There was so much leveling up that had to happen just for you to get to the point where you decided to be the Hanged Man. That, yeah, that choosing to continue on in this way, like changing the course a little bit, must have been really tough. And so I really admire you for doing that, because I can tell that, yeah, you really had the, your future self in mind when you were making those decisions. So good for you, because it's not easy. All right, great. All right, perfect. Well, if you are interested in more readings, more about me, anything going on like that, that information is going to be below in the description. I go live every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TikTok at Awaken Atlas, and I have new readings here on YouTube every Monday and Saturday. So I'll see you then.